Outlet Liquor is your place to buy a case. Stock up and save when you shop the lowest prices available every day at Outlet Liquor. You never have to wait for a sale. The more you buy, the more you save. Only at Outlet Liquor.
What's your outlet?
Folks, welcome in to Degenerate Danger Zone. It is the Trainwreck Playoff Happy Hour Special Edition. We got Slick Al and Degenerate Al joining me here. And it's May 25th. Let's get that free money. Love to hear that crack there, Degenerate Al. Let's get after it here. Only 2 games here in the NHL tonight. After 5 last night, you got the Maple Leafs and Canadiens running it back. And then the Predators, Hurricanes, who've been coming off some long overtime games there where the Hurricanes have gone and allowed the Predators to tie things up, but they're going to be back in Carolina tonight. Al, what are you looking at here in the NHL, and how are you doing with those NHL plays so far?
Not bad, honestly. And I got 2 leans going into these games tonight. Gotta say, first of all, the Dart is doubling down. Are you kidding me? Like I don't think Meerkat's ever done that in the history of the Dart. Maybe it's happened. I don't think it has. But back-to-back nights, you know how I feel about the Leafs. I think they're overrated. I really do think Montreal gets it done at home tonight. Love the price to it, plus 155. And in the other game, you're really starting to see where I feel like we're getting back to a little sense of normalcy. And the fans in Nashville, I think, really did turn the tide in those games to get this series tied up at 2. But I do like Carolina being back at home. I know it's parlay fodder minus 205. Take the minus 1.5 if you want. I do truly think, though, both home teams, Montreal and Carolina, get it done tonight.
Yeah, I love that Carolina play. I'm going with the Carolina minus 1.5 tonight. I'd like that a lot. They were 4-0 against the Predators in the regular season at home. Beat them in the first 2 games at home in the postseason this year by a margin of 8-2. I'd like to see it again. 12,000 plus fans there in Carolina. Slick, what are you seeing tonight? Do you think they're going to be able to get another home win, or are the Predators going to put the Hurricanes on their heels?
I think so. Yeah, I was just going to mention exactly what Trainwreck Troll said down there. In regular time, I think the Hurricanes take this. That might be better value, Al. I'm not sure what the price is there, but I don't think the Predators win this game. I just don't see it happening. Carolina's been on an offensive tear. I want to see what that 3-way Carolina regular time is. Minus 118.
Minus 118. Love that.
I like that. That looks free to me. So, yeah, I don't see the Predators winning the game, though.
No, and I don't think these teams want to go to another overtime game.
There's been so much overtime hockey lately, man. I can't get enough of it.
It's absolutely insane. When I woke up this morning and saw the Jets game went to 3 overtimes, I was like, I couldn't believe it. And guys, you know where I'm at when it comes to the Avs and the Knights.
Yep.
My biggest focus right now is making sure somehow the Leafs go down, whether it's the Montreal or the Jets next round, because you reseed going into the semis. So it would be Avs taking on Winnipeg or Montreal, which is obviously that'd be incredible for the Avalanche. If that doesn't happen and the Lightning knock off the Canes, you're going to see most likely Avs Lightning in the semis.
How does that happen? Like, is that
because the Canes won that division? Yeah. Tampa finished lower.
They're just doing it because of their division placement this year.
Yeah, so it's the lowest amount of points.
When you guys were talking about that the other night, I was like, what the hell? That doesn't make sense at all. But
it's a wacky year in the NHL.
That's interesting. Only in 2021 would you see the Lightning and the Avs in the semifinals of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah.
I can't believe it, and it's going to be absolutely incredible. Al, are you worried about any of those teams there? You said you don't want to see them playing the Maple Leafs, possibly playing the Lightning early on. What are your thoughts on those teams?
Oh no, I do want to see the Avalanche take on the Leafs.
Oh yeah.
If I got Toronto in the semis, I am perfectly fine with that. I mean, honestly, the only matchup that scares me the most is, like I said, that's tough to do if you're an Avalanche team. You got to knock off the Knights, and then you got to potentially play Tampa. I mean, you're playing that. That's 2 Stanley Cup matchups before the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, like I said, I want the upset in the Canadian division. If that doesn't happen, it's looking like the Lightning. That scares me a little bit. It really does. I really do not want to face Tampa. But, hey, what's the saying? You got to beat the best to be the best. That's still, I mean, if you got to roll through Vegas and then you got to roll through Tampa and then you got to ideally knock off, what would that be? Boston or the Penguins? Yeah.
One of the
So
two.
that 100% the scariest matchup to me is the Lightning. Everybody else, whether it's Pittsburgh, Boston, Toronto, Winnipeg, I think the Avalanche can get it done. Or the Knights, vice versa. I think either of those teams in the West can take care of business. Lightning, no doubt, is the toughest test the rest of the way.
Absolutely. Let's keep it going for the Avs. Hopefully they can get it done for the boys and the winners of the giveaway. If you guys missed out on that, you got to make sure you follow at Trainwreck Experts, paying attention all the time, doing a bunch of giveaways throughout the weeks. And we got the NBA playoffs here as well. 3 games here tonight. Celtics, Nets, 9-point spread in that one. Lakers, Suns. Lakers 2-point favorites, looking to bounce back. And then Clippers, 7 points against the Mavericks. I'm nervous about that one. But Slick, get me started here in the NBA. What are you targeting?
I've been trying to convince myself to stay away from my Celtics betting wise for emotional purposes, but this first quarter money line looks juicy. I think Celtics come out hot again, plus 195 in the first quarter. But man, Brooklyn, like I think Meerkat touched on it in Happy Hour Hoops, they don't even play defense, dude, and they're just like easily walking teams like the Boston Celtics. I know they don't have Jaylen Brown, but the play I really like tonight is that 7-point spread in the Mavericks Clippers game. I think the Mavericks played the Clippers very well defensively last time around, and I see this one going to be a close one too. I don't know if the Mavs win this one, but I think they definitely cover a 7-point spread. And Luka Doncic kind of juice, but over 2.5 threes, I don't see that not happening. Minus 143. Bit of juice, but that's okay. That never hurt nobody.
Fishy with that line.
What was that?
Al, doesn't it feel like there's something fishy with that line?
Okay, then Ty-V, thank you for bringing that up. I love looking at game 1 versus game 2 lines. You see, Dallas, LA, game 1 was 5.5. Now it's 7. Obviously, makes sense coming off a loss. You see, Suns, Lakers. Suns -3 first game is what it opened up at. Now it's Lakers -2. I almost feel like with that, Lakers money line or Lakers -2 is the play tonight. As Maniac and I always say, the Silver Snakes are going to be out tonight. You cannot have the Lakers getting knocked out in the first round. LeBron equals TV ratings equals money. I really can't see the Lakers going down 2-0. So in any parlay tonight, love Lakers money line or Lakers -2. They get it done. It's just, I don't know. I cannot see LeBron losing 2 in a row.
No, I think that would be absolutely unbelievable. Slick, do you think there's any chance the Suns can get it done? We saw Chris Paul yanking on LeBron's arm.
First of all, that was a terrible call for even being a foul. Like, just let him play ball. Like, you know what I mean? And then, like, Caruso acting all tough, too. I don't even know, man.
It was a weird.
I don't need all that, but I could see this Suns team maybe, I emphasize the maybe, taking this series to 7. But no, I can't see them winning it at the end of the day. At the end of the day, DeAndre Ayton is not going to outplay Anthony Davis in 7 games. So, and LeBron is not going to lose in the first round. You know how bad that would look? It looked bad enough when he didn't make the playoffs his first year with the Lakers. We all know how shit show of a team that was. I just don't see Phoenix winning this series in any situation. I think they could stretch it, but I don't know. What do you think, Al?
Yeah, like you said, are we going to have going into the second round? Are we not going to have the Lakers or not going to have LeBron and no Steph Curry? Give me a break.
Exactly.
It's no way.
I don't know. They're pushing the young superstars hard right now.
Yeah, but the West has less of those. I feel like. And is Ja going to make it to the next round?
I mean, you got Ja, you got
Luka,
you got Devin Booker. Like, there's a lot of young stars who are coming up, even in the West. Donovan Mitchell. Your games all over the board.
But you're telling me, like, imagine if both LA teams weren't in the second round of the NBA playoffs.
It would. Yeah.
Where would we be at? Like, we'd be looking at those future stars. Like, we'd be thinking of them as just like those faces now. Like Kawhi, PG, LeBron, AD. Imagine if they all didn't make that second round. That would be crazy.
Incredibly compelling, and we'll save more of that debate for Happy Hour Hoops when Jake and Dunny hop on here as well. But Al, You looking at any of these other games? Anything else you're targeting here tonight?
No, I mean, you know me when it comes to the NBA, I like to stay away. I focus more on the NHL and MLB. And shifting over to MLB real quick, I do have one play that I really like. I like the Blue Jays Yankees over. I really do. I think the over under that game's 9. I think it's Steven Matz versus Kluber on the bump tonight. Yeah, I think Kluber's going to give up some hits and runs eventually, right? So exactly, it's in Yankee Stadium.
They've been hitting home runs. Like Vladdy has the best batter WAR in the entire MLB right now. He's right there.
It's incredible, dude. And what I think
base percentage, slugging percentage, it's incredible. The weight loss has served him so well, and I can't wait to get to watch him starting next week there at Seneca One Tower out.
It's going to be a blast. We're a week away from Seneca One Tower, and I mean, just pretty much a home run derby at Salem Field. But yeah, that's my play of the night in the MLB. Yankees, Blue Jays, over 9. Short porch, short field, shorter than Salem Field, honestly. Love that Blue Jays offense going in against Kluber. And I think the Yankees can beat up Mats a little bit too. So I'm thinking, a nice 6-4, 7-5 type game tonight in the Bronx.
No, absolutely. I'm with you on that one. The Jays, like I said, have been hitting the ball pretty decently. It's way better when they were down in Dunedin than they have on the road. But New York is a hitter-friendly park. They have a couple left-handed bats, and we've seen a lot of these guys follow Vladdy's lead and go with a lot of these opposite field hits. Vladdy putting one out like 465 to center field the other day, like 450 to right center a couple days before that. So, Al, great angle on that. Slick, anything else you target in here tonight?
No, I'm just hoping we get a great night of hockey like last night and maybe some better basketball games than last night. So
yeah. One thing I am looking at here, though, is Padres Brewers. It's a very low total at 7, but I do still like it. You got Corbin Burns and Joe Musgrove. Musgrove has been phenomenal this year, had that no-hitter early on and has followed it up pretty well. Great addition on my fantasy team, still one of the top 20 pitchers in the league. So I really like that one. And Corbin Burns has shown with his – this dude, like, the velocity on his pitch and the amount that it moves on his like fastball sinkers and all that is absolutely unreal. And he's really kind of came out of nowhere, and he might be he's a borderline ace right now in the MLB. So that's exactly what you'd love to see in the Major League Baseball. And hopefully it'll be some free money. And speaking about free money, Outlet Liquor, your place to buy a case. The more you buy, the more you save. That's free money right there. When you go get a whole case, you're going to save yourself some good money there. And, shout out to Degenerate Al and Slick Al for joining me here tonight. And shout out for everyone tuning in. DDZ is going to be hopping off, and Happy Hour Hoops is going to be hopping on in. So make sure you get out there. Go hammer the books. Go hammer the creek. Do whatever you got to do. Go get that free money. Happy hour now.
Outlet Liquor is your place to buy a case. Stock up and save when you shop the lowest prices available every day at Outlet Liquor. You never have to wait for a sale. The more you buy, the more you save. Only at Outlet Liquor.
What's your outlet?
What is up, everybody? Welcome to our Trainwreck Playoff Happy Hour. We are Happy Hour Hoops. This is Jake Micah. As always, joined by Donovan Holden, and then also joined today by Tybee and Slick L. How we doing today, fellas?
Oh, doing great. Good. Just gave out some
awesome.
We heard the heat right before here. Yeah, that's free money right there all the time. We're gonna try to get some free money here with these NBA games too. Let's break them down. Let's get right into it, Dunny. Early game tonight, right alone there in the East primetime slot. The Boston Celtics will take on the Brooklyn Nets for Game 2. Dunny, what are you looking forward to in this matchup for the Celtics to build on from that encouraging first half and then just kind of letting it slip away in the second half to Brooklyn?
Yeah, I mean, the Celtics just can't come out with flat energy. I mean, I thought they started the first game great, as you mentioned, but obviously died down immensely in the second half, letting the Nets take complete control of the game. The Nets aren't going to start slow again. I've said that time and time again. But really, just quick on both sides of the floor, I need more from Kemba Walker. Every Celtics fan does. The Celtics organization does. And then I'm just really
whole
hoping
city.
extend minutes for Rob Williams. The way he played, I think he did it all in only 22 minutes in game one. I'm fine if they want to start Tristan Thompson, if that's their guy, fine. But I need to see Rob upwards of 30 minutes this game, because unless it's something that's going to be detrimental to his career, you can't bank on saving this guy for the rest of the playoffs, because if you drop 1-2 more games in the series, there is no more to the playoffs. So
do you think that is he still too hurt to get those minutes? Are they just trying to just limit him a little bit?
I mean, that's what I was thinking in game one. I was surprised he didn't start, to be honest with you. But like I said, it's one thing if you're nursing for the guy's future and his career, but if you're nursing for the rest of the playoffs, I mean, that just can't be acceptable at this point.
Yeah, we gotta empty the tank here, especially tonight. You don't want to be going back to the Garden. Although it'll be very interesting to see. As much as I'm interested in this game too, that game 3 with Kyrie Irving back in the Garden is going to be very interesting coming up too. Tybee, Brooklyn in that first matchup, Dunny touched on a little bit. Just looked out of sorts to start, and we've kind of worried about this. This has been the question all year: 202 minutes with the big three together, and we just saw Mark Jackson was harping on it. They were harping on it at halftime. Just too much isolation ball and not enough ball movement and good offense. So, is this something that you think is going to plague them, or it was just game one jitters, kind of excited for the moment in the big stage, primetime ABC, all that jazz?
Yeah, I think it's just sort of figuring things out as they go. Haven't really been playing together as much because of the injuries that most of those guys have suffered throughout the season. So getting back out there, getting in the swing of things with the heightened atmosphere of the playoffs, yeah, you got to play through that a little bit. You got to figure things out, and I think you're going to see them come out with a lot more fire. I know Slick is on the Celtics in the first quarter.
Ooh,
I very well could see KD or Harden just kind of taking it over real early.
So Slick, you're feeling like a hot start for the Celtics tonight then?
Yeah, I think they do similar to what they did last game. And I'm with Dunny. I need to see Robert Williams play a lot of minutes tonight. And I'd like to see him start. Honestly, I think he's better to have out there than Tristan Thompson. If you're going to commit to this guy, if he's going to be your center down the road, just play him right now. Just play him in the playoffs. Boosts his ego. It boosts your trust with him and the team. But I think this is a tough night for the Celtics if the Nets find their groove a little bit more than they did last game, especially with a little bit of a defensive spark. We'll see what happens, though. I think Celtics come out hot, and then it just really comes down the stretch with those star power on the Nets offense.
Dunny, would you rather see Evan Fournier or Jabari Parker in the lineup tonight for more minutes? We've hyped up Jabari Parker a little bit, and I'm just looking at this plus minus, and you mentioned this, Slick, with the starting lineup that they're going to play better in Brooklyn. The starting lineup for the Celtics, Tristan Thompson was a -16, Kemba Walker -21, and Fournier in there a -14. So they already kind of got blitzed in those minutes as it is, and it's not like the Nets were even playing well. But we talked about Jabari Parker and obviously Robert Williams, but Jabari Parker we talked about a little bit on the podcast before, and he showed pretty damn good minutes the other night, more pop than I thought. And I just think they were giving him some defensive responsibility too. He was on Harden a little bit in the third and fourth quarter there too. So do you think that that's a matchup they can look over? Or who's a guy that you think could maybe pop off the bench more in some more minutes? Because the starters had some heavy minutes for the Celtics in that game.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking who would I rather see log more minutes total, I definitely want Fournier, just simply because of scoring. I mean, he's proven time and time again with the Magic, and in a short stint with the Celtics, he's had a few games upwards of 30 points. So just for that matter, I'd rather have Fournier log more minutes. But I mean, Jabari Parker was super promising. I, as a fan, was just kind of wanting to see him eat into Grant Williams' minutes over and over again. I was kind of wishing for that all season long, and then all of a sudden the playoffs come. Grant Williams plays 30 seconds, and Jabari Parker arguably has one of, maybe not his best game, but his most efficient game, and as far as helping the team goes in that first playoff game. So
Yeah. So that, I mean, it's just about who. It's really going to be about who steps up to help out those guys, because if they have a game like Tatum and Kemba did not have games that they usually have. They didn't have the efficiency, and one of these guys is going to have to step up, and that's been the story all year for them, was trying to test this depth of this Celtics team. I really want to see Tatum and Kemba be able to get to the rack a little bit in this game more. I just think, and I think it's not as much just what the Celtics do best as much as the Nets interior defense it's a joke. Like it's going to be a problem the rest of the playoffs for them. Like Blake Griffin's not an answer down there. Jeff Green's not a center. He's never
Blake Griffin starting at center, dude. What the hell?
He's never been a center in his life.
Yeah, what are you doing?
It's gonna be tough. And so and Kemba can get to the rim, like he can get there. Tatum can get there, and Tatum went to the line a good amount in game 1 too. So like he was trying to get there, but they just get some more efficiency there, and really it's stringing those possessions together at the end. But so how are we feeling, Dunny? What's your prediction for game 2 going forward?
I mean, I'm riding with my guys. I have to. I'm going Celtics 105, Nets 101. I think we're coming out. I need big scoring from the gate. I think Kemba's going to have one of those games. You know, I'm talking 30 plus. It's almost like he needs to at this point. Like we've seen these games where he's sat out an extended period of time due to injury and blown up, but like this is a must. I mean, if he doesn't have a big scoring game, it's a lot of finger pointing is going to be towards Kemba Walker.
How are you feeling about the game, Slick?
Similar. I kind of want to ride Celtics now. Donnie's got me a little gassed up, but I'm gonna go Celtics steal one in Brooklyn, 101-99. It's gonna come down to the last play in the game.
Ooh.
With the ball in Tatum's hands. Book it.
Oh yeah,
I like that.
Needs to be. Ty, how are we feeling?
Not confident like they are. I think the Nets are gonna find some a little bit more scoring efficiency here. You're gonna see them kind of run it up a little bit more of a boat race. I think you're gonna get the Nets, around the 112 to 115 range, and the Celtics hopefully getting in there around 105. If they can make it a game, though, who knows what can happen.
I like the Celtics spread. At the very least, +9 is very intriguing.
Yeah, that's very doable.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm going with them to cover, but I think Brooklyn figures it out a little bit more in this game. But I still think that I think we're going to be able to see the Celtics make some more shots in this game too. It was ugly. That first half was like ugly, just some bricks.
Kemba's got to show up, man.
I would love to see. We all want to see Kemba show up. Like no one wants to see Kemba be doing this shit.
Like he's finally here. He's finally in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
We want to see the old Kemba.
All right, let's go out west. We've got 2 great games, late games tonight. Both LA teams going at it. We'll start with Ty B and his Clippers. How confident are you feeling tonight, game 2, facing Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks?
I'm just so confused because the spread's 7. I'm just like, what are you trying to say to me, Vegas? Like, is it like just like an easy win? Like, are they just gonna absolutely smoke them tonight? You got to figure out how to shut down Luka a little bit more. Obviously, it's not the easiest task, but you got Kawhi, you got guys who are supposed to be able to do that. Like, what the hell is playoff P doing? Like, come on, like, I gotta get something out of Paul George. You can do that if you can get some vintage performances out of him. You should be able to beat this team. You have a lot of depth there. But this line just feels so fishy. Like I feel like they should just blow it up because of it. But at 7, it's just I don't know.
7 is like the most terrifying NBA line. It really is. Because it's like just enough where you're like, oh well, yeah, if it's 7, like they should be able to handle them. But it's the perfect spot. Slick, how are you feeling about the Clippers? Or are you riding with the Mavs tonight?
I don't see the Mavs winning this game. I think it would be embarrassing for the Clippers if they did, quite frankly. But I think they can cover a 7-point spread. Like Tybee said, Vegas is kind of like toying with us a bit, like pulling our legs with that spread. But I think they can do that. I think it'll be a close game. But until I see more out of Porzingis, to give me faith, I think the Clippers will win tonight.
Yeah, we got
Wayne.
Wayne. Yeah, chiming in here if any of our predictions are dead on their bias viewers and bar. Nothing in the speedo.
All right.
Sure, yeah.
Bet.
So that's exactly what we all want to see. But yeah, like as long as they hit their threes tonight, they should be able to win.
Well, and that's the thing too. The Mavs hit 47% in game. Like it's not regression to the mean is a thing. Like especially with the Mavericks, they get hot on some of these games, and it was just devastating in game one.
It was Kawhi, Paul George, and Marcus Morris were like a combined 3 of 20 from deep. So it's just like you're not going to have that every game. Like you're going to figure things out offensively, and I don't know. Like they made it close enough. Like it was just at the end there, they just kind of sputtered out. Like you got to take over if you're Kawhi or Paul George. Like that's what you're getting paid those big bucks for. Mm-hmm. And Dunny, do I got to be worried tonight? Are they gonna? Am I gonna need them big in the last couple of minutes, or is it gonna be smooth sailing?
I think I'd be surprised if we don't see a motivated Clippers group, up and down this roster. I mean, you kind of touched on it there, where the way players on this team were shooting was a little strange. I mean, you had a close game, and Rondo was hitting deep threes for the team to bring them back in those good spots where it's usually the Kawhi Leonards, the Paul George, the Morrises. I think you see, I don't know who may have the biggest night out of the go-to guys, but I think the go-to guys collectively will step up for this team. And not that Rondo's not a go-to guy, but you just saw a lot of bizarre things with this.
Rondo was cashing threes the other night.
Yeah, and obviously that's not his game.
Gotta go though. Rondo's cashing threes again tonight. Hopefully, give me Clippers 120, 111.
Whoo! Just the cover.
Okay.
Perfect cover.
Cover the spread.
Nice.
Thanks for joining, Ty B. So we'll get into it. The three of us here. We will get into Lakers Suns here. Then I don't think we can follow up Ty B with that. I mean, that's pretty good. I'm riding with I'm riding with the Clippers too. It's good. I think we're getting 7 out of this series. The way it looks, like I'm good. I'm good betting on Luka to get to 7 this time around. We'll see what happens there. The Lakers and the Suns, though. Dunny, it was a very interesting experience for me watching the Lakers on Sunday because I'm sitting here. I'm in my Cleveland basketball shirt, and I just watching LeBron as a Lakers fan. It's very I enjoy watching it. It's still very conflicting though, and I'm sitting there and I'm getting mad at these Lakers players. I'm getting mad at KCP for bricking open shots, or Dennis Schroeder doesn't look like he wants to shoot, and I'm like, why am I getting mad? I've never liked the Lakers. I don't know what I'm doing. And still, I was angry the whole game, and they did not they did disappoint. AD 13 points in that matchup. After they thought he was going to dominate against the Suns like he did a couple weeks ago. What do the Lakers need to do in this game to kind of have an answer for the Suns, because they didn't look like they had an answer offensively or defensively for what they were throwing at them, and Chris Paul was not even fully healthy for that game either, which is the most terrifying part.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me, I'm going outside an individual performance from LeBron, outside an individual performance from AD. I don't even care that Schroeder didn't have the best game. Like they just need to want it. Like you that whole Sunday afternoon game, just watching the Lakers and the Suns, like it was just so clear that the Suns wanted it more. I mean, the Suns were playing exceptional perimeter defense. They were out rebounding the Lakers, hitting bigger shots and bigger moments. LeBron, yeah, he had a good game, like stats wise. He's gonna get that though. Every night out. He has his whole career. But they just have to want it. I mean, Anthony Davis, we talked about it on our pod that dropped this morning. Like whether it's an injury or what, like play with a little more tenacity. I mean, a guy of his skill, whether he's still nursing that Achilles or whatever in his leg, like he still can't shoot that poorly and have that little of an impact on a game when you are this supposed top 5 player in the league. Like I just need to see more from them collectively. And if I am going to hone in on one guy, to kind of light a fire under their ass, it's Anthony Davis.
Yeah, I mean they need so much more from him if they're going to be able to do anything. Obviously, like it was it was a strange experience watching him play in that game, especially Slick, because DeAndre Ayton looked like he was a beast the whole game. Like, should we just be giving more credit to the Suns star players because they really came and showed out?
I think the Suns have kind of been like that all season, where everyone's just kind of turned a cold shoulder. Not because they're not good, just they're underappreciated. I feel like we know what DeAndre Ayton can do, we know what Chris Paul can do, and we certainly know what Devin Booker can do. But like, they're just not one of those teams that comes to mind. I think Ayton played a great game, but Anthony Davis is not going to get dominated like that in the block for a whole playoff series. There's just no way. I think I'll double down on what Dunny said. AD's got to have a big game if they want to have a chance here and grab rebounds. They got Andre Drummond out there, and they were getting out-rebounded the whole night. So I think their bigs are key in this game. And like you said, DeAndre Ayton played a great game too. You got to actually want it, like Dunny said, and you got to outplay Ayton in the block. And then you got to have these guards shoot better too. You can't let LeBron be your primary point guard shooter. Like, you got to have some outside shooting as well.
Yeah, the Andre Drummond thing was such a disappointment to me in that game one, because he just looked lost half the time, bro.
It's horrendous.
Like, just looked lost. And then with Montrezl Harrell, like, he was good. He was good offensively. Like, he was a good energy player, but defensively, nothing. Like, you're getting zero from him. Yeah. And it's tough to see. Like, last year they were so like imposing with those bigs. JaVale and Dwight were just like, they're not great, but in that role that they're trying to do it with, that the Lakers need for that defensive thing, it was perfect for it. Yeah. These guys are just like square peg into a round hole type thing. It doesn't look right. So Donnie, what are we feeling? What's the prediction for game 2?
I would be shocked, like I was on Sunday, if the Lakers drop this one, and if LeBron or AD or both of them don't have huge games. Specifically LeBron, I mean, he kind of seems to always do that if he drops a game, or, you know, if his name's getting tossed around in the media negatively, which obviously it has been a lot in part to us, you know, kind of ragging him for his flopping. So I think do we know the spread on this game?
2, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Lakers favorite, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I would say Lakers cover the spread for sure. And I think you can expect a big game from LeBron, but I just want to see more movement, man. I mean, I saw LeBron sitting around in the corner, just kind of waiting for offense. And that's usually not how LeBron James led teams roll. See a lot of movements without the ball, a lot of moving with the ball. I just want to see a better team effort from the Lakers, honestly.
Yes. Like, how are you feeling about this game?
Agreed. I think the Lakers cover as well. I think they win by 6. So maybe like 113 to 107. I could see this game coming to. But man, let me tell you, I loved the energy in that Phoenix Suns arena that last game. The first time they've been in the playoffs in how many years? Those fans were going nuts, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was a great atmosphere. It's just been great. It was great all weekend seeing those atmospheres, but you could tell like they hated the Lake. You could feel like the Laker hate throughout the arena too. So that was fun to see. Man, I'm going with the Lakers, but I usually just default to going with the Lakers anyways. But seeing them go down 2-0 would be a very surprising thing, I think. Tonight is an elite 2 games to have at the same time at 10 and 10:30. That is like, I've never had a win. I don't remember an NBA late window like this in the last couple of years. It's pretty crazy. So anybody Slick, for you, does anybody pop off to you who's gonna have a huge night tonight? Like, who's your under the radar pick to just go off? You know, maybe not. It doesn't even have to be like a crazy 40-point, 50-point performance, but even just a guy that's out of nowhere and just puts up like 25 or 20 randomly.
Rajon Rondo.
There we go.
Yeah, the playoff Rondo, baby. I could see him having a great offensive night, as well as racking up those assists. Maybe a triple-double from Rondo. You never know. Feeding Kawhi and PG on the post, on the perimeter, I'm sorry. But, Rondo's perfectly capable of that. We know what he can do. So what about you? What do you think?
Man, I was thinking about it earlier because I was looking at some different, just different part of the options on my book with, points and points, rebounds, assists, and everything like that. And I think honestly, I really like a big bounce back scoring game for the guy James Harden. I really think that I railed that. I went heavy with the points, rebounds, assists for game one, and he disappointed. So I feel like this is the time where he's going to come back around and be able to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I would be very surprised if Harden didn't have at least 25 tonight. And that's another guy that's perfectly capable of going out and getting a triple-double tonight as well.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting night for sure in the league. So just I guess just before we go here, Slick, I want to give you an opportunity to give me a couple of other futures that you like as we're still early in the playoffs. So what are some East and West futures that you like going forward?
I definitely like the Nets to come out of the East. I would love to think otherwise, but I don't think I can see them losing to any other team. But I think a sleeper in the West might be for these Phoenix Suns to beat the Lakers in the series. I'm not saying that's going to happen. There was another future in that West that I was interested in, but I think maybe even one of the teams was still an underdog, even though they were up 1-0. I think it was the Nuggets to win the series. Maybe Nuggets are down. Well, now they're tied. Nuggets are still a dog to win that series. I think they're at plus 200 value or something like that, and that's great. I think the Nuggets are going to come out of that series. Portland will take them to 7 probably, but that's good value. What do you think?
Those games are always electric, man. Those are great. I really like the idea of the value of a Mavericks future after seeing Luka have that performance, because this feels like one of those NBA years where anything could happen and we could have like the star-making moment for Luka like out of nowhere. Like the West is wide open. There's no reason the Mavs couldn't get hot and beat who doesn't look beatable in the West right now? Really, like we saw the Jazz lose with the 8 seed. We saw the Suns in a close game, obviously with the Lakers. We saw the Clippers go down, and we've seen the Nuggets go down. Like it's been all over the map for that West. So I think the Mavs are a good potential future. I'm still heavy on the Suns. I really like the Suns. If they can get out of this Lakers matchup, like the sky's the limit for this team, and especially if they can, afford to lose in a situation like that. Out East, I've still been a big fan of Philly. I really like. I just like that they can match up with everybody.
Yeah,
might not have the best roster of the teams, but I think that they're the most adaptable to everybody. And the Bucks they don't look like they're being trifled with either at this point.
They're not going anywhere.
So all right, so that'll do it for the Trainwreck playoff happy hour here. So follow us at Happy Hour Hoops 1. Follow us at Trainwreck Sports. For Donovan, who unfortunately lagged out there, we're doing this live. You never know, Wi-Fi issues. That's a thing. So my boy, for Donovan Holden there, for Slick L and Tybee, this is Jake Micah. Stay hydrated. Enjoy the games.